Hi, this is Flash from United Handyman Association with Handyman Answers. I wanted to do a video about the exam that you would be taking to become a certified handyman. I get a lot of questions about, is there a practice test? Is there a way for me to study? The test is kind of designed not to stump you. It's designed to teach you. It's designed for you to take the test. You're required to get 100%, but you can take the test as many times as you want. So even if you get something wrong, the idea is that you're learning before you check that box what the right answer is. So I wanted to shoot this video, just kind of go over the test, go over what the answers are, maybe explain some of the answers. One of the things you have to keep in mind when you're taking the exam is that you are a handyman, not a licensed contractor. So some of the answers might be different for a licensed contractor than they would be for a handyman. So a lot of guys miss these questions because they're not thinking about what they're allowed to do. They're thinking about what a general contractor is allowed to do, or a licensed contractor. So here we go. So, first question, linear foot measures, question mark. Okay, so linear foot, what is linear foot? So A, all the above, B, length, C, mass, or D, width. Okay, so linear foot is length. It is the length of a board. It is the length of a football field. It is the length of a room. It is the length of your foot. Anything that you're measuring with the tape measure, one direction would be considered linear foot. Okay? Second question, what is the formula for figuring square footage? Now, square footage, you're trying to figure out for flooring. You're trying to figure out for, something, the square footage of a room or the square footage of a house or something like that. So for that, you're measuring the width and the length. So the answer would be A, width times length, and that would give you square footage. Again, these questions are not designed to be difficult. If you are a handyman and you've used a tape measure before, you're going to get those questions right. Okay, so the next one would be, when you don't get paid for a job, what options do you have? Okay, so this would be one that would be different for a licensed contractor, for example. A licensed contractor might file for a lien, okay? That's one of the questions that's one of the answers that is not correct. So here are your options. Plead your case in small claims court. Remove anything you built for them. Pull up your truck and tear it out of their house. File a lien on their property. Nothing and learn a lesson for the next time. Or both, A and D. So A was plead your case in small claims court, and D, nothing and learn a lesson for the next time. So bottom line is, as a handyman, you're not legally required, or you're not legally allowed to file a lien on a property as a contractor. So you can typically, since your jobs are going to be on the smaller scale, your only options would be small claims court or doing nothing. You're going to have to decide each job. If somebody shortchanges you or doesn't pay you, then you're going to have to make a decision on, how far you want to take that. So we have the options being, one, place your case in a small claims court, or D, nothing and just learn a lesson and, for the next job. I think that's pretty straightforward. It's just that, like you said, you have to think like a handyman and not a licensed contractor. Then there's, it is ethical to charge a markup on materials if you inform the customer prior. True or false? Absolutely true. It is standard practice to mark up your materials. It is almost expected, but maybe not be expected by your customer as a handyman. But it is absolutely, it is ethical. Some people some businesses charge more of a truck fee, or they charge for their time getting materials, and they'll choose to do, just charge for their time instead of a markup. Some people charge the markup so that they don't have to charge for their time. It really is up to you, but the answer to that question, is it ethical? Absolutely true. It is ethical. So then we've got advertising as a handyman. So this comes up sometimes, with, state contractors boards, and, some states claim that, you can't advertise as a handyman. Sometimes they say you can't advertise as a handyman unless you disclose that you're not a licensed contractor. So some of that varies. So the answer here is advertising as a handyman. A, is the only way to bring in new business. B, has no limitations. C, has limitations and is up to you to understand your state laws. D, it isn't recommended. So the answer to this, because states vary, the answer to this is C, has limitations and is up to you to understand your state laws. Okay? Typically, if you are a certified licensed handyman with the UHA, we're going to tell you to advertise, but advertise that you're a certified handyman and you're not a contractor. If you want to say that you are a UHA certified licensed handyman, that's absolutely within your right if you are indeed a certified handyman. So there you go. Having a UHA certification. A, exempts you from all state laws. B, makes you untouchable in handyman things. C, tells your customers that you are a licensed contractor. Or D, none of the above. Okay, so you're not untouchable. You can't, it's not waiving you from every law in your state. I mean, even contractors aren't, exempt from all the laws in their state. It is not telling your customer that you're a licensed contractor. It's telling your customer that you're a licensed handyman. So the answer for this question is D, none of the above. Okay? You are a certified licensed handyman by the UHA, and that's it. Okay, so what we got here? That is... All right, here we are. Question number 7. Okay. Using a chalk line, see, it kind of bounces around. Using a chalk line is used for snapping a line on a surface to mark for placement or cutting. There are 2 colors, red and blue, typically to choose from. Which color should not be used on a finished surface due to staining? So if you, first of all, in the question it says red and blue, but in the answers it says green, blue, red, yellow, gives all those options. So right away you can say that it's not green and it's not yellow. So if you used a snap line before, then you should know this answer. And if you don't, if you haven't, then the answer is red. Red will stain. It'll stain concrete. It is the reason why an outdoor contractor or handyman needing to mark a surface that is going to be permanent, it's going to stand up within the rain, they'll use a red chalk because a red chalk will stain concrete. It will stain other items, and blue won't. So blue will wash off easily and it's not going to stain as much as red, and it's not going to stay on the project. So if you're snapping something that is going to be visible later, you're going to want to use blue and not red. Okay. Next question. How many feet in a yard? How many feet in a yard? A, 6, B, 10, C, 2, or D, 3? How many of you watch football? How many feet in a yard? 3. The answer is D, 3. There are 3 feet in a yard, which means how many feet are there in a football field? 100 yards times 3, 300 yards. Okay. All right. So here we go. Next question, number 9. Silicone caulking is typically used for which applications? Check all that apply. Silicone, that's the main word that you want to pay attention here. Okay, silicone caulking. Okay, so what do we know about silicone? Silicone caulking does not hold paint. It is not paintable. There are silicone caulkings that are not 100% silicone. They're paintable. It will say right there on the caulking tube if it's paintable. So if it's paintable or it's not paintable, that's going to decide what you can use the caulking on. So silicone caulking in this question is going to lead you to believe that we're talking about 100% silicone. So answer, and it says check all apply. Answers are A, baseboards and casing, B, windows and doors, C, all the above, or D, kitchen and bath. Okay, so we already said that silicone caulking is not paintable, so that eliminates all the above. It also eliminates baseboards and casing. It's amazing to me how many people get this one wrong because they're using DAP and it might say silicone with silicone. But you got to remember we're talking about 100%. So the answer for this is around windows and doors for ceiling weather, right? And kitchen and bath. So a 100% silicone can be used for around, your sink, around, different things in your kitchen and bathroom because they are not being painted. All right, so moving along. Here we go. All right, so question number 10. What type of caulking should be used around painted surfaces such as door casings and base moldings? Okay, so we already eliminated from the last one. So here we go. First answer, white or clear paintable caulking, painter's caulk, right? B, DAP glazing, which we know is for windows. C, silicone caulking. We've already eliminated that. And D, liquid nails. So it's pretty basic, and especially since you just answered the other question correctly, the answer would be A, white or clear paintable caulking, which is also referred to as painter's caulk. All right, so next question. We're on number 11. We're almost halfway there. The UHA guarantee for the Certified Handyman protects your customers for what? A, so okay, first of all, so what this is a per job guarantee that states that if they hire a certified licensed handyman by the UHA, their investment in you is protected up to $5,000. So here we go. Answers: A, $5,000 towards job mistakes. B, full refund is not satisfied with your work. C, covers their property loss or damage. Okay, now property loss or damage, that is what your liability, your general liability insurance covers. And D, $5,000 fraud protection if you don't complete the job and they already paid you for covering their loss. Okay, so your mistakes are your mistakes. We're not telling people that you're the best at your job. We are certifying you that you're safe, you're reliable. Okay, we're not certifying you that you are the best handyman in the area. Okay, that you have to prove to them yourself. If they're not satisfied with your work, well, they're not going to refer you, and you're probably not going to work for them again. Covers their property. I told you that's your general liability. So D, the D is the answer. $5,000 fraud protection if you don't complete the job and they've already paid you. So we will cover their loss up to $5,000. If you get paid and skip, you're going to lose your certified license. You're going to be flagged on our site, and your customer is never going to hire you again, and we'll go from there. But we will pay the customer back, so they're covered. Okay,